Welcome to the Utah Wing 2021 conference. Please stand to honor the colors.
We put upward march. Color guard, hold, left, east, precinct, colors, carry, colors, right, peace, palm left, heart, color guard, hold,
Please bow your heads with me as I pray in my faith tradition, and may you pray according to yours. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful morning and the opportunity we have to meet virtually. We are grateful for the technology that allows us to do so. We thank you for those that have organized this conference and those who are participating in any way. We just pray that you will watch over our nation and our men and women in uniform. We ask a blessing on our commanders, especially our squadron commanders, and we ask that you watch over our young cadets. Please be with the presenters and the learners throughout the day today. And we just thank you for this opportunity, and we pray for these things in thy holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Barlow. Would everybody please remember to mute your microphones and turn off your cameras? Oh, shoot.
You got it.
I know I messed up there. Hold on. Stu, would you turn your camera off?
Off.
Oh, come on. Oh, where is the sound?
As you entered the room this evening, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor. It is reverently As you entered the room this evening, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor. It is reverently referred to as a remembrance table or fallen comrade table. The military caste is filled with much symbolism. This table is their way of symbolizing the fact that members of the profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly referred to as POW, MIA. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this evening, and so we pause to remember them. Let us just take a moment to explain the table and the significance of the items upon it. This table is set for prisoners of war and those missing in action from all wars. They are not with us today. Their chairs are empty but saved for their return. Remember. Let us remember the United States Army, honored by Cadet Walker. Let us remember the United States Navy, honored by Cadet Lim. Let us remember the United States Marine Corps, honored by Cadet Cox. Let us remember the United States Air Force, honored by Cadet Richardson. Let us remember the men and women, prisoners of war from all branches of service, who are too often forgotten. Let us remember them. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms, so that their children could remain free. The napkin is black, signifying an unknown fate representing all of them. Remember, the lone candle symbolizes the frailty of a prisoner alone, trying to stand up against his oppressors. Remember, the Bible is for faith, whatever form that may take for each of us, which sustains our missing members and their loved ones. Remember, the black ribbon on the candle reminds us of those who will not be coming home. Remember, the single rose reminds us of the loved ones and families of our comrade in arms who keep the faith and await their return. It is also symbolic of the immense sacrifices and untold hardships endured by our missing warriors. Additionally, the red color symbolizes the love of home and country that led them to such sacrifices. Remember, a slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate if we do not bring them home. Remember, there is salt on the plate, symbolic of the tears of those who wait. Remember, the glasses are inverted. They cannot toast with us tonight, maybe tomorrow, if we remember. Tied to the flower vase is a yellow ribbon worn by thousands who awaited their return. Remember, the faded picture on the table is a reminder that they are missed very much and remembered by their families. Remember, the chairs are empty. They are not here. Remember, as you look upon this empty table, do not remember ghosts from the past. Remember our comrades. Remember those we depended on in battle. They depend on us to bring them home. Remember our friends. They are the loved ones we love, who love life and freedom as we do. They will remember what we do. Please honor and remember them.
Okay, now we'll turn some time over to our Region Commander, Colonel Johnson.
Oh, sure. You asked me to follow that.
Sorry, someone had to.
Yeah, I know. Well, good morning and thanks for inviting me. Colonel Hess, distinguished guests, members of the Utah Wing. Welcome to your 2021 Wing Conference. It's good to be here with you all. I've been asked to speak for a few minutes on the state of the region, where we are, and where we're going. Let me start with some numbers, then I'll visit with you about the region's strategic plan. The region is averaging about 3,500 members over the course of a month. While this number reflects an average, we're slowly losing members. I attribute this to COVID-related issues. As things loosen up, I anticipate our membership to increase back to our pre-COVID numbers closer to 4,000. That doesn't mean we wait until it's all over to focus on recruiting and retaining. That should be something we continually work on. Let's recruit members who want to be here regardless of the difficulties caused by the virus. Our vision is about the strength of the wings, their members. There are talented and experienced leaders, dedicated cadets, and stalwart members in the wings. Our combined vision is one of development, diversity, and beneficial service. The mission of the region is to serve the wings and the squadrons with resources they need to accomplish the missions of CAP. We will focus on individual members finding satisfaction in serving. That's the essence of our core values. Let me briefly share the region goals and how they might pertain to the Utah Wing. The first goal relates to how the region staff will support the wings. Communication is the essence of success in accomplishing this. Region staff will reach out to their counterparts in the wings on a regular basis. They'll be proactive. Wings are still encouraged to ask for what they need from region as well. Region staff will keep the wing commanders apprised of region interaction. The second goal talks about being prepared for the interregional emergency services and disaster relief exercise coming in 2022. The wings will have qualified individuals and teams to accomplish the tasks that will come with this activity. Region will help develop these assets as they are requested. Thirdly, we will encourage aerospace education and leadership development. Specifically, we will help recruit minorities and female members. Technology will play a large role in accomplishing this. Wings will increase adults trained in positive youth practices. Fourth, we will increase safety awareness. Members need to participate in safety education programs. We need to decrease the number of mishaps in the region, and that begins with each wing focusing on the concept of a safety culture. That begins with a safety briefing before each activity that is specific to the risks of that activity. Let me repeat that. It begins with a safety briefing before each activity. And that safety briefing is specific to the risk of that activity. Whether it's a meeting, whether it's putting an airplane away, whether it's going out to do something in the community. Lastly, we will increase public awareness of CAP's value in serving the community. This will include publishing articles about local and wing activities in the appropriate media. If the community knows about us, they need to know about us. The only way they're going to know about us is if we publish articles and if we talk about ourselves. These region goals reflect national goals, and it's expected wing goals will take the region goals into consideration when they develop theirs. While this is a new paradigm, these goals are attainable. Each wing will modify as needed while keeping with the spirit of the region goals. That's just a brief overview of the strategic plan. If you want to know more, the plan will be posted on the region website in the next month or so. Feel free to contact me if you have any pressing questions. My purpose of the region as region commander is to make your CAP life better and more meaningful. I hope you'll enjoy your conference and come away with two things: a sense of how important your participation is within the units, and an increased desire and ability to serve. Thanks for letting me share just a few things this morning. I plan to keep it brief so that you can get on with your conference. Have a great conference. Good luck and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Johnson. We'll now hear from our wing commander, Colonel Hess.
Well, good morning, Utah Wing. This is an honor and a privilege. Thank you, Colonel Johnson, for sharing your thoughts and the goals of the region, setting the tone from a region perspective for the wing. It's been 1 week since the change of command, so hopefully you can give me a little latitude. I'll try to be brief as well, because I really do want you to get onto the excellent instructors that have been lined up, the guest speakers, and certainly get the education that you came here for. I'm terribly excited to take the reins of the wing and spend the next few years working with each and every one of you, championing the successes that we'll have together. So I'm going to share a little bit of a presentation here. Hopefully you can still get a glimpse of myself, but we'll do a quick welcome here. What I want to do first and foremost is introduce your command staff for the next couple of years. Certainly, like I said, I took the flag last Saturday. Thank you to those that attended and were able to do so virtually. It's a daunting task. I'll give you a brief description of kind of the feeling I got when Colonel Johnson made the phone call. I was at my office at work, and he called. I was printing something off and standing on the middle of the floor near the printer, and got the phone call, was talking to Colonel Johnson, and suddenly I felt two very distinct emotions that I'd only felt one time before. And it was the time when I was handed my temporary pilot certificate after passing my private pilot check ride. I was elated, and then realized I could probably kill a few people in the process. Hopefully that second part doesn't become any close to a reality, but you can imagine those feelings. But I'm excited to be your commander. Let me introduce your new vice commander for the next little while, Lieutenant Colonel Matt Johnson. Lieutenant Colonel Matt Johnson comes with a significant amount of experience in aerospace education, in cadet programs, in operations. He's been a commander in a squadron and a group level, an extensive amount of experience in successes within this wing and within others. And so I'm excited to welcome him onto the command team. I think we'll accomplish a lot of great things together. He's a SkyWest airline pilot by profession, has a lot of good skills and capabilities, of which many of you are enjoying the benefits of today. He was the principal designer of our current wing patch and many of the squadron patches that are currently distributed without the wing. So welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Matt Johnson. A familiar face, Lieutenant Colonel Lincoln Christensen, is serving as our Chief of Staff once again. We're going to carry along the successes that we had under Colonel Fernandez and utilize her leadership and capability. She comes from a long trained history within Civil Air Patrol, squadron commander herself, but an excellent resource for our members and our commanders to reach out to in coordinating efforts within the staff. And that's going to be a big part of this command, is that communication with the staff. As Colonel Johnson mentioned, the region's going to be proactive in helping and assisting our membership. We're going to do the same at the wing level. So Lieutenant Colonel Christensen is a valued asset there, and we're glad to have her continuing that march. A new addition to both the command team within Utah Wing, but more a push nationally as well, but a more recent add in and of herself, is our Command NCO, Tech Sergeant Sarah Lim. Terribly excited to have Sergeant Lim added to the command team. She's She's currently serving within the Air Force, I believe a reservist. She had me change out this picture for a different one I had found online of her during a weapons loading contest at Hill Air Force Base. But this is certainly a good introduction for her. Welcoming her to the command. If you saw the change of command ceremony, she stood as the guard of the colors during the handing off of the flag. She'll play a very pivotal role in keeping the pulse and the blood pressure of the wing in check. So we're very excited to have Tech Sergeant Lim join the command team. Wing staff is, let's see here, not seeing any presentation. Well, that's not good. Is nobody else seeing the presentation? If I can get one affirmative.
Sure, we're seeing it.
Okay.
Right now, we've got a blank that says wing staff at the top.
Wing staff, good. Okay, good. Thank you, Steve. So let's change that. Back to the commander and his command staff. You'll see how this lines up. This is the major appointments and positions. As we add in the other command staff elements of the Inspector General, Director of Safety, Government Relations Advisor, and Legal Officer. Those staff positions that will be coming up in the color orange are currently openings within the staff that we need to fill. So if there's interest in filling any of these positions, I'd very much appreciate you reaching out to Lieutenant Colonel Christensen as far as your interest is concerned. She posted one yesterday for the Director of Finance, but we also have openings in the Director of Cadet Programs, Public Affairs, Director of Finance, and Director of Information Technology. We're very fortunate that many of the staff members that were part of Colonel Fernandez's success have decided to stay on in their capacities. Now that may change as time goes on. We respect that, and we look forward to finding other opportunities. Now, if there is a directorate in which you would like to serve as an assistant as well, I'm more than happy to have you make that desire known to Colonel Christensen as well. Please indicate that. But lots of opportunities within the wing staff, but these orange positions we need to fill very quickly, particularly the Director of Finance. That one comes with a regulatory requirement. So if you have some financial background and you're interested in helping the wing manage its affairs as well as the support to the squadrons, please indicate that to Colonel Christensen as soon as you possibly can. So this gives you an overview of the major directorates. There are other minor directorates that are also very important in the support of the wing that we want to highlight as well. There's only so much room on a slide. So anyway, much along the lines of how Colonel Johnson gave the state of the region, I'm going to outline a few things of highlighted emphasis when it comes to the state of the wing. We did this 2 years ago. Can you believe that? 2 years ago was the last time that we were able to have a full-on wing conference due to COVID. In that time, we've triumphed in many instances. We've had very good success in supporting the state of Utah and the native tribes around the state of Utah in delivery of PPE and supplies respective to the COVID response. Recently, the wing was awarded en masse a number of disaster relief ribbons with a Silver V device to those participants that sacrificed their time to make that COVID relief happen. Congratulations to those individuals, and thank you for that support and that sacrifice. Currently, we're sitting at 620 members wing-wide. 290 of those are cadets, 330 of those are seniors. We are not, and we'll talk about this in the next slide, but we are not immune to the fact that we too have seen a decrease in our membership numbers due to the COVID pandemic. One of the things that I noted significantly over the last year is that a virtual environment for our cadets is not palatable long-term to them. In fact, CAP is one of those things they look forward to gathering with their fellow cadets to do. And this pandemic certainly made that very difficult. So congratulations to those 290 that have stuck it out. We'll talk a little bit later about kind of some goals and some emphasis points that we want to work on. We have 9 aircraft currently in the wing. 7 of those are powered. 2 of those are gliders. We've done a decent job of utilizing them to date in the fiscal year. The glider program, in fact, today, I had planned a glider event concurrent with our conference. Because of the importance of getting cadets involved in gliders, I excused those members supporting that to absolutely support that glider initiative and program. We want to see that success. But our powered orientation flight program has been phenomenal. Of recent major now, Paul Jensen was our O-Flight coordinator, did a fantastic job. He has some big shoes to fill, but did a fantastic job of keeping those cadets flying. So we've flown 475.2 total hours in fiscal year so far. So that is from October 1 to date. That's increasing even today. That's about 68 hours per aircraft. We have a goal in the wing, at least hitting 150 per aircraft by the end of the fiscal year in September. I see that being very possible, especially if we have the opportunity to conduct our encampment, take care of those O flights and work through the ES missions that we have, plus the flight clinic or the flight academy that potentially can kick off. That'll take care of a lot of that. Our next compliance inspection is alongside the joint search and rescue exercise that'll happen within the region next year in 2022. So we need to be thinking now. We need to be checking our directorates. We need to be checking our books. We need to be checking ourselves to make sure that we're in complete compliance. There's going to be a real emphasis on compliance not being an event, but being a way of life within the wing. Everybody will have an opportunity to contribute to that success, and we'll hopefully be rated very highly in that regard come next year. We have a staff assisted visit coming up in the next month or two with the CAP USAF folks. That'll tell us where we stand currently, but looking forward to that, be an emphasis. We're currently in COVID phase 2, allowing 50 members to gather with proper social distancing and precautions. We were successful this last Saturday with the change of command to nearly reach that 50 number and conduct a very safe activity. We have submitted for phase 3. General Felka has replied back that it's under review. The state still needs to meet a couple of benchmarks in order to get to phase 3, but phase 3 allows us to have those overnight activities such as encampment and Desert Scorpion and a couple other opportunities that will be discussed later on throughout the conference. But good job on those individuals working hard to create an environment within the state of Utah that allows us to continue those activities and move forward in our phase. I will echo the sentiment of Major General Smith when he says we encourage all of our members to take the necessary precautions and steps to eliminating this pandemic and creating a safer environment that meets the comfort level of each of those members. So do what you can and continue the march. We'll continue with the COVID precautions of medical precautions of masking and social distancing and cleanliness and sanitation. But good work so far. Phase 2 is great. It's nice to be at the tail end, hopefully very soon, of phase 2 and into phase 3. Desert Hawk and Desert Scorpion are currently planned for June 10 through 19. So those individuals that are interested need to make sure that they've got their applications submitted and make sure you work with the individual staffs on those events so that we can have a successful regathering of our cadets and other members training and working together and having a good time safely. Flight Academy is also in works. Region Director of Operations, Lieutenant Colonel Rand Woodward and I chatted very briefly last night, but it is in works. So those that have applied and are going to be accepted, let's get ready and plan for that and execute that safely. A couple of quick challenges I want to outline as far as the wing is concerned. The biggest one being our declining cadet membership. As a former cadet myself, I know the value of Civil Air Patrol and the cadet program and what it can bring to each and every one of our cadets. Year over year, currently decline is 25% of our cadre have not renewed. That's a significant number over the last year due to COVID. And again, that tells us that the cadet program is very person-to-person, in-person intensive. It's a program that needs to have that interaction to work, but it's a very shocking and surprising number. In the last 90 days, about 2.5% decline. So we still have cadets that are still not renewing. We need to see what we can do to fix that. We have a changing mission landscape. Traditional SAR is on the decline. And whether that be to the fact that technology has improved, to the fact that many of our law enforcement and emergency response partners within the state now have the ability to get GPS coordinates for downed aircraft or missing persons because of these improving beacons, spot devices, DeLorme devices, PLBs and ELTs that have 406 capability. That's not a bad thing, but it is changing our current mission skill set and landscape that we need to adapt to. So we must need to evolve to these new demands. So we're going to work a little more on aerial photography, some SUAS training. There's some sessions later on in the conference discussing specifically SUAS, which is a mission that both seniors and cadets can participate in. We need to work on our GIS and DER, disaster recovery type missions, so that we become a very powerful and competitive force within the state in supporting our partners. Lastly, a big challenge is our depth of our bench. I think if you reached out to any of your squadron commanders or some of the staff members, they'd tell you that, that they're living on the edge and their replacements aren't there currently to be found. So we're going to be doing a better job of finding our replacements, training them, getting them excited at the prospect of filling the seat as we naturally move through and progress in the program. So some goals and opportunities. Along the lines of the region goals, the strategic plan that Colonel Johnson put forth, we've got some high-level goals. Not going to go into terribly the specifics, but we'll discuss in more detail as a staff and distribute to the rest of the wing. But we have some goals. We want to reactivate, recruit, retain, and advance our cadets. So I'm looking for 100% recall of recently lapsed cadets. And when I say recently, within the last 6 months. So those cadets that have decided to not renew, they're easy pickings. Get those cadets within your units to reach out personally with a handshake or a fist bump or an elbow bump and say, we want you back. We want you back. We need you back, and you need us. You need to come back. So we'll talk a little bit more of that as we go along. We're going to work very hard with our PAO and cadet programs and even aerospace education leadership to work a strong recruiting drive and open houses for each of our units across the state. We also want to make sure that we're creating a backlog of pre-planned Saturday-like activities, things that we can distribute, publish, and get distributed out to all of the cadets and their parents, something to look forward to, something that's engaging, and something that's going to bring them a lot of value. We're going to do some unit promotability surveys. And what I mean by that is we're going to take a real hard look at all of our cadets within our units and find those that are ripe for the next promotion. And we're going to work hard to get those cadets excited about the prospect of getting those promotions taken care of. We're going to move these cadets through the program. Enhance our mission support capability. We're going to have increased qualified and proficient aerial photographers wing-wide, specifically in those areas where aircraft are assigned. That's going to be an emphasis of this command. SUAS crews developed and trained. We've had a lot of success, even in the near recent. Major Baxter and Lieutenant Heisner and Lieutenant Dyke have put in some significant time getting themselves qualified to then be able to train and then check out individuals on SUASs. It's going to be a big part of our training regiment this year. Increased VFR to mission pilot transitions. We have a lot. While we're losing cadets, we're gaining a lot of senior members, and many of those are air crew. I mean, when I was director of operations, I would have wished to have this problem. Trust me, it would have been great. This is awesome to see. But we need to take more of these guys that are coming in and getting their 4 and 5s done and making sure that we're transitioning to mission pilots. I've committed to make myself one of those individuals to get requalified after having to take a little bit of a step back due to health. But we're gonna get that taken care of, and we're gonna increase those mission pilot numbers. In doing so, we're gonna increase our utilization of our aircraft wing wide. So the proficiency that's gonna come and the opportunities to train is gonna increase that utilization, so we can eventually hit that 200 per aircraft per year number. Lastly, education and training. We don't use the term promote up or whatever in the cadet cadre, but by golly, we're going to level up many of our senior members. We have 176 level 1 senior members right now. If you remember the numbers of our senior members, that's over half of our senior members are only level 1 at the moment. So education and training is going to become very paramount in this command. We're going to get those members moving forward, getting the training they need, get the excitement because they understand the program better. We're going to bring those people up from level 1 to level 2 and so forth. The education and training program is awesome because it eliminated a lot of the burdens and barriers for folks to move up into the higher levels as well. So lastly, I'm going to go really quickly. Those that participated in the change of command heard some of this, but I want to outline the leadership philosophy for this command. We're going to inspire. We're going to set common goals and objectives within membership and get your buy-in on those goals. A goal that is your goal becomes a goal that will win for the wing. So we want to make sure that buy-in is paramount. Commander will then champion these goals throughout the wing. You will find me as your biggest cheerleader. I will be the guy that will be standing up there going and rewarding those successes. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but I'll be the champion. We're going to empower you. We're going to provide as many opportunities to train, learn, hone, and use the skills that you have. An excited volunteer is one that learns something valuable, then gets to use it, both on education and training, as well as our ES programs. So we're going to empower all of you to do those things. Communicate early and often. Colonel Johnson said the same thing. We're going to communicate better. We're going to leverage technology to our benefit, and we're going to make it possible for you guys to communicate. And we're going to make sure that I have an open door and silo-free leadership ability. We're going to observe. We're going to command. We'll observe your successes and work diligently to remove the blockers. And then we're going to reward. We're going to take every opportunity we can, both person to person.
You guys bring your masks?
Yep. If we can get somebody to mute their microphone, I'd be grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian probably has them up there for us, so that's why.
So we're going to reward. We're going to thank each and every one of our volunteers together. It's not a command only thing. That's going to be a mantra amongst all of our cadre within the wing. Make sure you thank your volunteers often and in using the tools that we have. So finally, let's go get to it. And let's enjoy this conference, move forward, and take the training that we have, use it to our advantage, and have a good time. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and relinquish control back to the Education and Training Corps, and they'll give you some house cleaning items, and then we'll move on with the conference.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome again, all of you, to the conference, and that I'm glad that you are all here, that you all decided that getting up at the ODART 30, some of you, to prepare yourselves to be here. I appreciate all of that. I hope we have a really productive conference, that you get out of this something you can take for your personal use. This isn't for me. This isn't for Colonel Hess, Colonel Johnson. This is for you. This is your conference for you to get something out of it, and we hope that you can do that. As reminder is, yes, keep your cameras and your mics off if you're not presenting or speaking for some reason within the conference. For finding and navigating to the different sessions, you will find on the left-hand side of your screen, you will find calendar. If you click on calendar and put it on day, it will bring up today's calendar. Each one of the sessions will come up. If you click on there, there is the ability for you to join the individual session you wish to attend each hour. We've got about 9 minutes to get set up and ready to start the first set of breakouts. We hope you enjoy yourself, and we'll be somewhat bouncing in and out of rooms as much as possible with the ENT staff. However, we are pretty loaded with ENT information for individuals, so you may or may not see us. Do you have anything you wish to add, Major Holmes?
Yes, sir. For the guests that are on, if you're showing as a guest, it may be very valuable, and we appreciate it if you could use the chat box to enter your name, grade, cap ID, maybe the wing or unit that you're from. That'll help us to make sure you get credit for the course. So help us out with that way. If you're registered through the wing and your name is showing on your icon, then we should be fine and be able to track you and give credit that way. But that should help us out a lot. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Feel free to get ready for your next session. And again, if you have challenges, please reach out to me in the chat.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you.